Today, I will teach you how to truly feel. I will reveal the simple and sacred secret behind every miracle, every manifestation, every transformation that has ever taken place in a human life. You do not need more power, for the power already lives within you. It always has. You do not need more time, because time is nothing but the servant of your inner conviction. You do not even need to understand how things will unfold, because the bridge of circumstances builds itself the very moment you feel something is real. What you need is to feel. Feel what? The fulfillment of the wish. Most men and women pray. They hope. They beg. They wait. But very few ever truly feel. To feel is to become. To feel is to fuse your inner world with the outer one. The outer responds to the inner, and the inner is governed by feeling. Modern science, particularly neuroscience, has already confirmed that the brain does not clearly distinguish between an experience lived with intensity in imagination and one lived in physical reality. When you feel something deeply enough, your nervous system responds as though it were already true. This is not metaphor. It is physiology. God is not a distant being in the sky. God is your own wonderful human imagination. When you learn to feel something as though it were already real, you awaken God within yourself, and God responds to his own nature. God creates by imagining, and when he imagines with love, he creates life, beauty, abundance, joy. So must you. You are not separate from the Creator. You are the Creator, asleep to your own power. But tonight, it is my intention to awaken you. I have said it many times. The world is yourself pushed out. What you believe, what you accept as true, what you feel with conviction. That is what hardens into fact. The law is always operating, always producing what you are in the depths of your soul. If your life is marked by scarcity, you are feeling scarcity. If your life overflows with blessings, you are feeling blessed. The world has no choice but to mirror back to you the vibration, the state, the assumption you carry in your being. It is like a printer that can only print the file that is in the computer. Change the file. That is why I say again, I will teach you how to feel. Let us now make this very practical. Suppose you desire wealth. You do not need to look to the stock market, to the government, to any external source. All you need is to enter the state of wealth within. You do this by feeling wealthy, not hoping to be wealthy, not acting as though wealth might someday arrive, but assuming now, with full inner conviction, that you already are the person you desire to be. How would you walk if you had all the wealth you desired? How would you speak? How would you greet your friends? How would you fall asleep at night? What would you think about as you woke each morning? Ask yourself these questions sincerely, and you'll begin to construct a new state of consciousness. And that state, once occupied in feeling, will produce its corresponding reality. Let me remind you, this is not make-believe. This is not fantasy. This is creation. You are imagining your world into being, just as God imagined this entire universe into existence. The scriptures tell us that God calls those things which are not as though they were. That is the very secret I am giving to you now. You must call forth the thing you want as though it already exists, and you must feel it to be true. Do not concern yourself with the facts of your current life. They are only the shadow of your former state. They will fade when you stop feeding them your attention and energy. All that matters is the feeling. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a fleeting emotion. It is a deep and abiding inner knowing. When you truly feel it, something transforms. Your breathing changes. Your posture shifts. You begin to see with new eyes. You are no longer a beggar asking for change. You are a creator declaring it is done. From that moment, your world must rearrange itself to reflect the new you. And it will, not by force, not by willpower, but by the effortless divine operation of law. Imagine, then, that you are already where you want to be. Close your eyes and enter that scene. Do not merely visualize it. Inhabit it. Make it real in your imagination. Hear the sounds you would hear. Touch the objects you would touch. Breathe in the air of that new world. Let every sense participate in the feeling of already being there. Sports visualization researchers have discovered that athletes who mentally rehearse a skill activate the same motor neurons they would activate during physical practice. You are literally rehearsing reality in your nervous system, and then let go, fall asleep in that state. Carry it with you throughout the day. Return to it whenever doubt arises. And above all, do not contradict it with worry, fear, or complaint. Remain faithful to the feeling, and it will become fact. Let me tell you a story. A woman came to me desperate to be reunited with her estranged husband. She had tried everything, letters, phone calls, pleading. Nothing worked. I said to her, "Do you still love him?" She said, "Yes." "Then assume he loves you too, and that you are already together." She looked at me as though I had asked her to climb Everest. But I told her, "Just tonight, before sleep, imagine him holding you, telling you he loves you. Feel it as though it were happening now." She did it, though reluctantly. The following week, he called her. By the end of the month, they were back together. What changed? Not him. Her feeling changed. She moved into a new state, and the world mirrored it. Another man came to me longing for a better job. He felt unworthy, overlooked, stuck. I said, "You are not stuck. You are only stuck in your feeling." I instructed him to construct a scene that would imply his desire had already been fulfilled. He imagined shaking a hand a new employer, hearing the words, "You are hired," and feeling the pride of accomplishment. Every night he entered that scene. Within weeks, a company he had never even contacted reached out with an offer, double the salary. What changed? Not the world. His feeling changed. He stopped being the man who waited and became the man who already had. I tell you again, if you can feel it, you can manifest it. You do not need to manipulate people, force circumstances, or wait for some perfect alignment of stars. You simply need to enter the state of the wish fulfilled and remain there. The world will conform, always does. You are the operant power. Nothing comes into your world but what you assume and accept as true. An assumption, once felt as fact, becomes fact. This is the law. This is a teaching of all the great mystics, clothed in different words, but pointing to the same truth. You are creating reality by what you feel to be true about yourself, about others, about life itself. So choose wisely and feel deliberately. If you want love, feel loved. Do not wait for someone to love you. Be the one who feels love now. Imagine what it feels like to be cherished, valued, adored. Walk in that feeling. Speak from that place. Love will come, for you have become the vibration of love itself. Research in positive psychology has shown that people who cultivate emotional states of gratitude and love demonstrate greater resilience, deeper meaningful connections, and better outcomes across virtually every area of life. Science confirms what the mystics always knew. If you want health, feel healthy. Not someday. Now. Feel the joy of vitality. Feel the ease in your body. Psychoneuroimmunology, the field that studies how the mind and immune system communicate, has documented that emotional states directly influence immune function. Your inner expectation is not merely poetry. It is biochemistry. If you want freedom, feel free, not in some distant future, but in this very moment. Break the chains in your mind, and your outer world will reflect your inner liberation. You are not a victim of fate. You are not subject to chance. You are the master, the chooser, the one who brings heaven or hell into being through your feeling. All the power of the universe is compressed within your own consciousness, and the gateway to its expression is feeling. Let's return to Scripture. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It does not say as a man thinks in his head. It says heart, the symbol of feeling. You may say with your lips, "I am wealthy," but if in your heart you feel poor, it is the feeling that will dominate. You must bring the word and the feeling into alignment. Speak what you feel and feel what you speak. Only then do you create from truth. Now the question arises, but what if I feel fear? What if I feel doubt? Do not resist it. Acknowledge it and then shift. Feelings are not enemies. They are messengers. If you feel fear, It means you are imagining something you do not want. So stop, withdraw your attention from that scene, and construct a new one. Enter the feeling of safety, of confidence, of calm. Neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to reorganize itself and form new neural patterns, shows that the more you repeat a mental state, the stronger and more automatic it becomes. Repetition does not merely solidify habits of thought. It literally reshapes the architecture of the brain. Sustain only what you want. This is not hard work. In fact, it is the most effortless of all. You are always feeling something. The question is, are you feeling deliberately or by default? Most people feel according to what the outer world tells them. But the magician, the mystic, the true creator feels according to what they desire, regardless of appearances. And that is why they rise above the world and shape it. So tonight, I urge you to begin. Do not wait. Choose one desire, just one, and feel as though it were already real. Create a scene that implies a fulfillment. Let it be short and vivid. Enter it fully. Make it your home in imagination. Return to it again and again. Sleep in it. Walk in it. Think from it. And do not let the outer world dissuade you. It is only catching up. This is your birthright. This is the secret Jesus taught when he said, "Whatsoever ye desire, believe that ye have received it, and ye shall have it." Believe that you have received it. Not that you will, that you have. And belief, in its purest form, is feeling. I will teach you how to feel it, because feeling is the secret. Not action, not strategy, not effort. Feeling. The moment you feel the state of your desire is real, the moment you inwardly consent to its truth, it must come to pass. Not by might, not by force, but by the inner certainty of being. Go now and feel deliberately. Feel powerfully. Feel as though you already are the one you want to be, and watch the world rearrange itself in perfect harmony with your inner state. You may wake tomorrow and see no sign, no evidence of what you felt the night before. And you may be tempted to say, "It didn't work." But I tell you, never judge by appearances. The seed has already been sown, and what you now see is merely the lingering effect of your old state. Continue to feel the new reality. Let it take root. Persist in the assumption, not with strain, not with effort, but with quiet confidence, with that deep knowing that what you feel with conviction is law to your world. You must understand that the bridge of incidents, those mysterious, often untraceable paths that lead you from your present world to the one you have felt, is not yours to construct. Do not concern yourself with the how. You are not called to build the bridge. You are called to walk across it when it appears. And it will appear not by your doing, but by the law that answers the feeling. What seems random, accidental, or coincidental will reveal itself in hindsight to have been divinely orchestrated. But you must first claim the end, feel it, own it, assume it. Each time you return to the old feeling of lack, of doubt, of fear, you reinforce that former state. But if you discipline yourself, even gently, to remain faithful to the desired state, you will notice a subtle change. You will begin to feel different, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. And when you change, the world must follow. The law is not partial. It does not fail. It simply responds to the predominant feeling within you. The imagination is not some whimsical fantasy land. It is the workshop of God. It is where reality begins. And you are the craftsman, the dreamer of dreams. But dreams do not come true simply because you wish them to. They come true because you dare to feel them as real. When you do this, you move from mere desiring into assuming, from hoping into knowing, from imagining into creating. This is the sacred alchemy of consciousness, the transmutation of invisible substance into visible form. In your quiet moments, especially before sleep, withdraw from the world of facts and enter the world of assumption. Let the body relax. Let the mind grow still. And let your attention be gently directed toward that which you wish to be, not with struggle, not with analysis, but with ease. Imagine a scene that would take place after your desire is fulfilled, not the process, only the result. If it is marriage you want, see the ring on your finger. If it is success, feel the congratulations. If it is health, sense the vitality in your limbs. Do not overthink it. Let it be simple, natural, alive, and above all, feel it. This practice is not reserved for few. It is not some mystical gift given to saints or sages. It is the right and the ability of every man, woman, and child. You were born with this power. You are using it now, whether you realize it or not. Every state you occupy is producing its harvest. So choose your state by choosing your feeling. What you feel yourself to be is what you become. You may say, but I don't know how to sustain the feeling. I say, practice. Like a musician training the ear or an athlete conditioning the body, you must train your soul to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Begin with short moments. A few minutes here, a few minutes there. Return to it often. In time, it will become your dwelling place. It will feel more real than the world outside. And when it does, the world outside will catch up. You are not here to conform to the world. You are here to transform it. But you cannot transform anything while feeling yourself a victim of circumstance. You must rise inwardly. You must ascend the ladder of being through feeling. Each rung is a new state. Each state brings new experiences. You do not change the world by force. You change yourself, and the world reflects your change. When I tell you to feel the wish fulfilled, I am asking you to become the person who already possesses what you desire, to think from it, to feel from it, to move through the world as though it were already yours, not to pretend, not to fake, but to embody it with sincerity and faith. When you do this, you will find that your desires are not something you must chase. They are drawn to you, for you have become their very embodiment. You must also learn the art of detachment. Not detachment from desire, but from outcome. Once you have felt it as real, once you have accepted the state, do not strain for results. Let the feeling rest within you like a seed in the earth. Trust the law. Let life flow. Know that the manifestation is already in motion. You need not dig up the seed to check whether it is growing. Your work is to feel it real, and then to live your life with the quiet confidence that it must come to pass. That confidence is not passivity. It is a recognition that you have done the inner work that matters, and that the rest belongs to the law. Many of you are waiting for a sign before you believe. But the sign comes after the belief. First you believe through feeling, and then the sign appears. The feeling is the cause. The sign is the effect. To reverse this is to wait forever. So begin within. Begin now. Your world is your mirror. You do not see what is. You see who you are. Change who you are in feeling, and what you see will change automatically. A fearful person sees threats. A joyful person sees blessings. A loving person sees beauty. The lens is internal. Adjust it, and the picture adjusts itself. Research in selective perception has documented what psychologists call confirmation bias. The brain literally filters reality based on beliefs it carries. Change a belief, and you begin to see things that were always there, but invisible to the old eye. In the stillness of your mind, begin to hear the words you wish to hear. Imagine the sounds, the voices, the laughter that would surround your fulfilled desire. Let it be vivid, detailed, emotionally rich. Do not simply think it. Feel it. Let the scene impress itself upon your soul. Then let it go. Trust that the impression will produce its expression. Your feelings are prayers, not the words you utter with your lips, but the feelings you carry in your heart. These are your true invocations, and they are always answered according to their nature. If your prayer is one of lack, you receive more lack. If it is one of fulfillment, you receive fulfillment. So bless your desire by feeling it is already done. Give thanks for it, not in anticipation of its arrival, but in recognition that it is already yours. Do not confuse effort with effectiveness. It is not the struggle that brings results. It is a surrender to the feeling. It is a quiet, confident assumption that what you have imagined is already a fact in your world. When you no longer need to force it, when you no longer need to ask whether it is working, that is exactly when it is working. That is when it begins to move from the unseen into the seen. The great secret is this. Reality is not created by outer action, but by inner conviction. What you are convinced of deep in your bones, in your breath, in your heart, that is what you manifest. And conviction comes from feeling. You cannot be convinced of something and not feel it. The two are inseparable. So if you wish to change your world, you must first change your conviction. And you do that through feeling. If you say, but I tried and it didn't work, I ask you, what did you feel? Did you feel the lack of it? Or did you feel the joy of already having it? You cannot deceive the law. It gives you not what you want, but what you are in consciousness. You must be honest with yourself. Trace your feelings. Examine your reactions. What are you truly accepting as real? That is your state, and that is what must change. So let's not just talk about this. Let us do it. Close your eyes even now, and let yourself drift toward the end. What do you want? What do you long for? Feel it now. Step into the scene that implies it is done. Hear the words. See the faces. Sense the atmosphere. Now. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude of already being there. Let it fill your being. Let it saturate your body. This is not fantasy. This is creation. You are doing it now. You are planting the seed, and the harvest is inevitable. Remain in that state. Let nothing shake you. Let no outer appearance tempt you back into doubt. You are the one with the power. You are the one who imagines. You're the one who feels. And because you feel it, it must be not someday, not perhaps, but surely, certainly, lawfully. As you continue to dwell in that feeling, something strange and beautiful begins to happen. You start to forget the old state. It no longer fits. It no longer feels like home. You have moved inwardly, and the outer must move with you. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural. What once seemed distant becomes familiar. And then one day, without effort, without striving, you look around and realize it is done. In that moment, you do not celebrate because something external has changed. You celebrate because the outer is finally caught up with what you have known all along. The world simply reflects your sustained inner state. And when that state becomes your dwelling place, reality bends to meet it. The phone call comes. The opportunity presents itself. The person shows up, not because you chase them, but because you change who you were in consciousness, and they had no choice but to respond to the new vibration you were radiating. You must now realize that all creation is finished. The moment you desire something, it already exists. It exists in the invisible, in that higher realm of imagination and feeling. You are not creating something from nothing. You are selecting from the infinite possibilities already prepared for you. Just as a radio does not create music, but simply tunes into a frequency, you are tuning into reality you desire through your inner state. Quantum physics suggests that multiple potential states of reality coexist simultaneously, and that focused consciousness collapses those possibilities into specific experiences. Change the frequency, and the song changes. And the frequency is your feeling. Many of you do not realize how powerful your acceptance truly is. The very moment you accept something as true within yourself, you set in motion a chain of events far beyond your understanding. A whisper in the heart becomes a conversation on the street. A feeling in the soul becomes a change in your bank account. A moment of gratitude in the silence becomes a healed relationship. But the outer event is never the cause. It is the echo. The origin is always within. Do not be disheartened when the world does not change instantly. It is not meant to. The world is slow, dense, heavy. It takes time to catch up with what you feel instantly. That is why you must live by inner vision, not outer appearances. You are not called to observe. You are called to assume. And that assumption must be felt as real. So deeply, so naturally, that you cannot help but live from it, speak from it, and act as though it were already true. Many of you are tempted to argue with the current facts of your life, but facts are not the truth. They are merely reflections of previous feelings, hardened into visible form. If you argue with a fact, you remain in bondage to the past. But if you disregard appearances and claim the truth of your new state, you rise above the world and call for the higher order reality. And that truth is felt, not seen. The more you feel from the end, the more the world must yield to your inner conviction. Circumstances will shift. People will behave differently. Opportunities will unfold with such precision that you will know, without a shadow of doubt, that something greater is guiding it all. That something greater is your own imagination aligned with your feeling. And when those two are in harmony, nothing is impossible to you. What will you choose to feel tonight? Not what will you wish for, not what will you hope to see, but what will you feel is real in your heart. That is the beginning of your creation. That is the seed of your new world. And though no man may see it, though no sign may yet appear, rest assured, it is done. The feeling is the evidence. The assumption is the cause. And the world must bow to it, for it has no choice but to follow the inner blueprint you have laid down. Do not wait for others to agree with you. Do not wait for the world to give you permission. Do not wait for the perfect conditions to begin. You begin now with feeling. You begin now with imagination. You begin now by entering into the state of the wish fulfilled. And once you have entered, remain there. Do not visit. Live there. Let it be your new identity, your new home, your new reality. And the old world will pass away, and all things shall be made new. You are not learning how to create. You are learning how to feel, for the feeling is the creation. When you feel something deeply enough, consistently enough, the creation is complete. The delay you experience is not a delay in the creation. It is a delay in your recognition. You are waiting to see it before you believe it. But the law demands that you believe, that you feel before you see. So feel with intention. Feel with clarity. Feel with love. If your desire does not move you in feeling, it will not move the law into action. Let it come alive within you. Let the emotion flood your being. Let the joy, the peace, the excitement of already having it become the very atmosphere of your soul. And in that atmosphere, miracles grow. Positive psychology researchers have documented what Barbara Fredrickson called the broaden and build theory. When you genuinely cultivate positive emotional states, you literally expand your perception, your creative thinking, and your capacity to see solutions. Emotional state is not merely poetry. It is the engine of perception. Do not fear the delay. It is only the space between inner knowing and outer unfolding. It is the gap between seed and harvest. But the harvest is certain, if the seed is real, and the seed is a feeling, not the fleeting wish or the momentary thought, but the sustained assumption felt as fact. Every great life, every success story, every healing, every breakthrough began with a man or a woman who dared to feel something new, something greater, something already done. And they held to that feeling even when the world told them otherwise. They were not greater than you. They were not more gifted or more deserving. They were simply more faithful to the feeling. And that faith became substance. That feeling became fact. You must now do the same. Take the power back from the world and return it to where it always belonged. In you, you are not subject to the world. The world is subject to you, and you rule it through your feeling. So feel with intention. Feel with discipline. Feel with love. For what you feel, you become. And what you become, you inevitably see. So I leave you with this eternal truth. Nothing is more powerful than your feeling. Not circumstance, not logic, not the opinions of others. If you would only dare to feel your wish fulfilled, to persist in it, to surrender to it, to embody it, then no force on earth could stop its manifestation. You are not here to beg from life. You are here to command it, not through effort or force, but through the silent authority of feeling. That feeling is your prayer, your seed, your creation. And when you honor it with belief, when you live from it as though it were already so, the universe must obey. It is not a matter of if. It is a matter of law. So feel it now. Feel it deeply. And never forget, the world will always reflect what you dare to feel is true.